Aloha! Today's short video is going to be on the APA form for citing electronic resources. We're going to look at how to make these citations in text. So if you're citing a paraphrase or a direct quote in your in-text in a paper, discussion post, something like that. And also how to take care of the works cited bibliography citation at the end. Now, one thing is important to keep in mind is that we're always basically following the general rules that are set out by APA. So when you are citing in text, you need to include the author's last name, the date of the publication, as well as the page number if it's available. Now with web pages, we know that oftentimes a page number isn't available, but sometimes if you have an electronic book, for example, my humanities textbook here that I teach from, we are given page numbers. So this would be an electronic resource that we would be citing, and here's an example of the page number. All right, so we need to include all that same information that we would just the same as we would do a book or a periodical or other kind of a paper kind of presentation. So I have a citation from a website, Google, about their privacy policy because it's an assignment from a different class I am teaching. And in here, we need to look on this particular web page to get the information we need. So first, let me get to the web page. Privacy, here we go. And this is the web page I took my quote from. All right, so we need to find a couple things on this web page. First of all, we need to find the authors of the text. Well, big companies like Google and such, they don't actually tell you who specifically authored the text. But we know that this is from Google. It is Google policy. So we're going to attribute this particular text to Google itself. Then we need to look on the page and see if we can find some information about the last time this page was updated or published. And in this case, we have information here that it was modified last, so republished last, on March 1st, 2017. So we're basically going to assume that this is the publication date. Now, when we look at other pages, like let's go to a news, for example. And I'm going to just go to the first news story that pops up, this very sad story about what happened this morning. But what we're looking for here, if this news story was going to be something I was going to be quoting or citing from, we would want to look here. Here is the author's names, and we would be using that. We know it was come from CNN, and we'd also have this information about its updates. What we really need is this date here, April 10th, 2017. So this would be the information we have. Now, if you come across a web page that has no author, no really good way to identify who is the person behind the information, and it has no information about when it was last posted or updated or published, then it is a good idea not to use that resource. Okay? So avoid resources that don't have this information, because there's a very good chance, even if the information is correct, that it's a form of spam and you don't want to use it, okay? So make sure that you find an electronic resource that gives you the author's last name, you know exactly who the information is coming from, and you have a date of publication. So let's go back to my example here. All right, so I have basically quoted from Google, and here's my quote. And this would work the same if you're using a paraphrase as well. So after the quote, I have to follow the general rules for APA citation form. I have the author's name, in this case Google, and I have the publication date here. If you notice, I don't have a paragraph number and I don't have a page number because I'm really not given one, and I don't need to put that information down. Now, when it comes to citing this as a work cited, this is the information the APA organization asks us to have. First, we have the author or the authors, followed by the date of publication, followed by the title of the article, the title of the online periodical, volume number, so on and so forth, because sometimes a lot of academic articles are read online, so you're going to need this information, followed by when you retrieve the information or that is where you retrieve the information, the URL. So in my case, this is Google, and I know that it was last updated March 1st, 2017. Here is the title of the page I took the information from. This is the name of the company again. In this case, the name of the company and the name of the author is the same, but it will always be so. And then when I retrieve the information, the URL. You put the URL down, everything but the HTTP stuff. You don't need that part. And that is what a good citation, works cited citation for electronic resource would look like. And there's your formula. And if you have any questions, remember you can always contact me. Thank you very much, and aloha.